broadcast bloodbath. Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon are out in major media shakeup. What does this mean in the media landscape? Okay, so let's look at this article. Now, if you don't know who Tucker Carlson is, if you don't know who Don Lemon is, it's okay. You probably just don't ever watch legacy media. That's fine. Tucker Carlson, massive Fox News contributor. Don Lemon, massive CNN contributor. The fact that both of these guys got fired or let go on the same day is very serendipitous, okay? But I think there's a lesson here. So let's check out what actually happened. Fox News host Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon both abruptly exited their cable outlets on Monday following a series of controversies, making a seismic shift in the media landscape. Just hours before Fox News announced Carlson's departure, in a statement, the network was still promoting his primetime show. Yes, they were, indicating just how sudden the separation was. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. Fox News said in a statement, "We thank him for his service to the network as a host prior to his contributor Carlson's last program was Friday." And they're trying to find an interim host. Now, Don Lemon was fury in his response to being ousted, stating on Twitter that he was stunned that he had been terminated by the network. Of course he was. At no time was I given any indication. So they just fired this dude, okay? Continue to do work. I've loved the network. It is clear that there are some larger issues at play. Though CNN in a tweet said Lemon's statement is inaccurate and that he was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter. Sounds like he was upset and canceled. The exit comes ahead of White House Correspondents' Dinner, which that's like where they roast everybody. Lemon, who had been with CNN for 17 years, this is the same guy who got super faded on the New Year's Eve thing. Y'all remember that? Yep, the same guy. The presidential hopeful, Nikki Haley, isn't in her prime. This man been listening to too much Andrew Tate. And that a woman is in her prime 20s, 30s, and 40s. This is so wild coming from him, of all people, and on CNN, of all places. He later apologized for the comment on Twitter and didn't appear on CNN's This Morning the next day, right? Earlier this month, Variety published a report claiming that Lemon and made other offensive comments about women on air in the past and alleged inappropriate behavior towards female colleagues, which is interesting because he's a part of the LGTB community, so I'm not really sure what's going on here, right? News of Tucker Carlson's departure came the week after Fox settled the Dominion voting system's defamation lawsuit. This is all the election deception nonsense. You guys remember that? This is Fox basically kind of co-signing it, which then led to them getting sued by the company that did all the voting, which then led to almost $1 billion settlement. Carlson, along with host Sean Kennedy and Laura Ingraham, privately mocked regular guests such as Donald Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, and Sidney Powell, while continuing to promote conspiracy theories to their audience. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Both of these guys from polar opposite ends of the spectrum, canceled, dropped, fired, let go the same day without any notice in extremely abrupt fashion. Okay? One was over the election deception stuff, and the other was over just being kind of a scumbag with his statements towards women that probably would have made Andrew Tate blush. Okay, that is why this happened to both of them. Seemingly, allegedly, I don't know, but that's what the media is reporting. Now, what is the application here? I want to talk about this from a business standpoint because there's a business tie-in here that I think is huge for where we're going in the content creation space. Here is the practical application. We live in an era where you cannot be a private scumbag anymore, as Don Lemon seemingly was. You are going to be held accountable because everything is on television, on video, on the internet. Everything. Okay? Everything is. And so, we live in an era where your reputation cannot be sloppy in private and you can publicly continue to be a media darling. Like, those days are over. Well, it goes to show that legacy media is losing, that it's fading, that in an era where, again, you can't have any skeletons in your closet, in an era where you can't be incongruent and inconsistent, in an era where you could have the platform, but you can't be protected no more. Like, all of that is, in my opinion, a huge opportunity in the marketplace in terms of this new terrain that we're entering of YouTube, of live streaming, of podcasting, of who do you get your information from, right? Like, who do you get your information from? This is a lot. Now, will Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon have an audience and some people check? Probably, right? Probably. But will Fox News and CNN mean 5 years from now what they mean today? They don't mean as much today as they did 5 years ago. They're becoming more and more relevant because most of us see all of the goofy culture war stuff that they're just stirring the pot. And we rather get our news from other places. Like, you guys know, I get my news from Breaking Points, right? Because I feel like they have a balanced perspective, and I support them privately in their little online community as well. And I think that's the shift. That's the real-time shift that's happening in terms of the creation space, the content space. The field is being leveled, right? The field is being leveled. That a lot of people are checking for the Joe Rogans. They're checking for even smaller channels like this as where they're going to get their information from. Because though they may also give you some information that's not always accurate or whatever, at least they're not trying to pull one over on you with a narrative about they're bad and they're good and they're right. At least it's going to be a bit more balanced than the stuff that's coming out from legacy media that a lot of times is just there to stir the pot and make people upset. And so I think there's a huge opportunity for Christians in the space, for content creators in the space, for infotainment type of shows to explode, that it essentially can change the landscape of stuff. I think it's super wild that in respect to Tucker Carlson, that the very thing they were telling their audience about the election deception stuff is the very thing that they were seemingly and documentedly laughing about and mocking about. And that this thing, according to this news report, got taken all the way to a defamation suit by Dominion Voting Systems, and Fox News lost. Right? Fox News lost. And that is what they're saying is the reason why this sort of stuff is happening. And by the way, if you look at Fox and CNN trying to do their online premium thing, like trying to compete in the digital space, both massive failures, both massive disasters, both tanking tens of millions of dollars. Not CNN, I believe CNN completely started sunsetting it on their end. And so this is an exciting time if you're looking to create something, get into the content space. Yes, it's a lot more of it. Yes, the production value is going to be better. Yes, it's going to improve. Like Breaking Points is about to drop their new set, which who knows how well that's going to look, right? Yes, it's going to get more competitive. But in my opinion, it's the best time ever to be making content. In my opinion, it's the best time ever to be on these platforms and to be creating something. If you're genuinely coming from a place of wanting to help and wanting to add value. Not everybody is, but if you're genuinely coming from a place of, I want to help and I have an area of expertise that I want to help, well, goodness gracious, that's amazing. You know,